I was. Hello, everybody. We're just waiting for Michelle, as you know, MMA world champion, all the way from Hamilton, will be joining us today, and we can ask our questions. And I hope it's going to be a good sort of interview. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, Oz brother. Michelle is one of the very, very strong women athletes today in MMA, and just really looking forward to Oz. Hello. So we've got some questions for Michelle, people who responded to our stories. Hello. And I've got the questions here. So first we're gonna talk about Michelle's background and obviously the tournaments that she just attended, and then other sports backgrounds. And after that, we're gonna do a 30-second quiz, which I'm going to ask her very quick questions, and I'm gonna ask her to respond them as quick as possible. It's gonna be fun, and then we're going to end our interview. So Michelle was just on a training. She's preparing for probably another fight. I'm looking forward to ask her, and as soon as she's finished, she is going home, and I don't know, maybe from dojo she's joining Instagram live straight away. So it will probably be a couple of minutes. Yeah. Us. Hello. Alright, Michelle is joining now. Stay tuned, guys. Thank you very much for your patience. We are still receiving some questions. We got a number of questions already lined up, and I'm going to be asking first those questions, and she's got quite a busy schedule. So if we got more time, then I can ask her more questions. But yeah, she's got limited time. She's got quite intense training. If you're following her stories, you would know. So I'm grateful for the time that we've got with her. So enjoy. Hope this works. Hello, Michelle.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, thank you. How are you? Are you in the dojo?
Yeah, I'll show you. So yeah, we just had wrestling training.
Wow.
Yeah, so here's the gym.
It's core MMA, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Incredible. So what were you
Mm.
training?
Wrestling. So we just did some technical stuff for about an hour with three of us and our coach.
Nice. And how was that?
It was good. Obviously like a nice sort of lighter session for Sunday morning, going over technique. Really enjoyed it though.
Yeah. So, Michelle, first of all, thank you very much for joining. I know you got a very, very busy schedule, and I'm so happy for everyone who would be watching this video later on as well, and who are live at the moment and who got a
Mm,
chance to get to know you.
yeah.
If you could please, start by giving us a bit of background about you and how you started MMA.
I started by literally just I was watching some fighting on YouTube and I hadn't like literally ever heard of like martial arts really. I was playing rugby the whole time, and then I came back home from being overseas, was playing rugby, just Googled up MMA, Jim Hamilton, and then started training just morning, lunch, night, every single class, and was hooked on it like from the first day. Yeah, just did every class the whole time, and from there, I think I had to fight maybe 5 or 6 weeks after joining.
So, hang on. So you were playing rugby, and how old were you when you found out about MMA?
Like 24, 23. Oh, maybe like 23 or 22. Yeah. It was
Okay.
only like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, that's quite surprising because when you look at most of the sports nowadays, you've got athletes starting to train age of 5, age of 6. I've got a lot of Russian friends, for instance.
Yeah,
They
they
say,
do. They go up. Yeah. That's the thing. Like over here, I wish I was that kid that knew about it. I see all the little, like tiny boys and girls that do martial arts now. Like they're going to be absolute beasts. And it's just not something that in my little town we knew about. We grew up playing rugby. My dad was the coach of like a team. So, in my town, you grew up, you started playing rugby from like age of 4. That's what I did. So, I mean, I was always doing contact sports with guys from that age. So it definitely gives you some kind of toughness and resilience. But it's so far from all the technical aspects of martial arts.
so your dad is, just to pause there, your dad, I've seen you training in your garage
Mm.
during quarantine, and gentleman was your dad.
Yeah, yeah. So the guy that
He's
helped me
up.
build it, the guy's my dad. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I got him in to do some trainings with us doing circuits and that. He's like a big rig, 6'3", 110 kilos, and like ex-farmer. So he's very like he can do the weights and stuff, but he doesn't know about the stuff. But he's so open to learning about it. You literally try and teach him a wrestling move or whatever. He's perfect. We'll be in the kitchen and I'll just jump on his back and like try and choke him out. Oh, it's beautiful.
That's great. Yeah,
It's like, yeah, our
totally
household is pretty
understand.
nuts, eh? Like, he's a perfect one to try stuff on because you're not going to hurt him.
Yeah, yeah, I totally understand. My dad was the same. He's the one that got me into karate, and yeah, he asked me to kick him when I was 3, and he was on his knees, and I kicked him in wrong area, and ever since then,
Oh,
that's
yeah, there
my
you go.
karate
That'll learn them,
career
eh?
actually.
Wanting to get involved.
Yeah. And how was your first fight? Tell us about your first fight. So you started MMA. You just seen
Mm.
MMA, and you decided. So you're going straight from rugby to MMA. No Muay Thai, no kickboxing, no.
No, no, just straight. So rugby for like 20 years maybe total, like a bit off and on in between. But yeah, I was playing rugby at the same time. So I'd go to like do the morning and lunch jiu-jitsu or kickboxing classes or whatever there was on offer. And then I'd go to rugby training for a couple of hours and then go from there straight to the dojo and then do wrestling or jits or whatever it was on that night. So I was just doing both. I remember playing rugby games in the morning in one town, like 80-minute rugby game, and then driving up to like the NZ Grappler comp in the afternoon. So I used to just do it all. Obviously, it's not great for your body, but I still was in love with rugby, still am, but not playing. And I wanted to learn this new sport, so I was just like juggling all of it.
So when you were doing rugby for, you said around 20 years. So
Mm.
did you try any other sports too whilst you're doing rugby, or?
Yeah, like that classic like high school thing where you do a bit of rowing or touch rugby or just whatever they have just to stay busy, and it's a bit of a social thing. Like I did heaps of other little sports, but nothing really took my interest as much.
I mean,
I think I needed contact sport.
that. Uh, yeah, everyone knows about it, and I have to ask because a lot of people asked about it as well when I announced that we're going to be doing the Instagram live. So the physique that you have, that incredible as an incredible athlete, it's just uh, is a marketer to me when I see some fighters like, Yoel Romero. He is there,
Yeah.
market some of like Ronaldo as
Mm,
a footballer, for instance.
mm.
You are that type of athlete, and so I mean, how did you build, you know, that physique? Was it mainly rugby, or did you do? I seen your post like you done some CrossFit, you've done some.
Oh,
Uh,
I've never done really CrossFit. I did like maybe one comp, but I didn't really do it. No, I mean, I since I was a kid have like ran around the farm we grew up on and was like, chasing calves around like the cow shed and stuff like that. Like if we had to go get the calves, I'd be out there trying to wrestle them to the ground. So I didn't wasn't like hard for me. It was just like a good challenge, and I loved that physical aspect. So we grew up, riding motorbikes, all these things that make you physically strong, and I just started to gain more muscle as a kid than maybe my mates, and then playing rugby the whole time with guys until I was like maybe 15. You're constantly pushing your body, and I've done gym like weights since I was maybe like 14. So just constantly each year, going in that way.
I think Alexander Volkanovski was talking about the same thing about rugby, how that
Mm.
benefited him, and how he still sees, lots of advantages of playing
Oh,
rugby.
absolutely. And like your gas tank is huge because you're running around as a loose forward. You're running around the whole 80 minutes, like non-stop, hoping you don't get like subbed off or anything. So you're busting ass the whole time. And so you go from there to like this sport. Yeah, it's so different. It uses different energy systems, but your gas tank and mental toughness to last that long in a contact environment is still there.
Hmm. Yeah, so I mean, when I hear you telling about, your the way that you got into this and the way that you were training in the farm, so I think, or the way that you were living, basically, I think
Mm,
it's
mm.
quite, it reminds me Khabib as well. So, the way
Oh
that
yeah, with the beers.
yeah, the way that these guys live, I think, lots of people in Turkey as well. You got when you go into hometown of my dad, let's say, it's middle of Turkey, and these
Yeah.
guys, they look after the massive farm, and as a kid, they take the responsibility. And when we fight, for instance, we
Mm,
don't really punch each other. So if you
mm.
put somebody down, and if their both shoulders are on the ground, then you win. So
Yeah,
you
like wrestling. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So you don't actually, fight or anything. You don't actually take any classes, but you get into that. And once it's in your, once you get into it, maybe it's just a different level. Because when I see you fighting now, 6-0, if I'm not wrong, MMA,
Nine,
nine.
8 or 9. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you you probably take down as much as I've seen on YouTube. You took down all your opponents, and
Yeah.
yeah, and you're quite confident and comfortable about it.
Yeah. I'm, I'm comfortable. I wouldn't say like I look at every person like, yeah, I can take them down because I can't. But it's just of all the aspects I was learning at the same time at the start, the wrestling side of it was obviously super comfortable because it was closest to rugby, and I was doing that at the same time. So the whole time we're learning, wrestling takedowns and stuff, I'm thinking, oh well, this I can picture this being like a rugby tackle or grabbing tight and getting them to the ground. Obviously, there's heaps of other aspects to that when you put it into MMA, like adding strikes in there and not getting tagged on the way in, all that sort of stuff you have to start working. Because at the start, I was just, you know, as you're doing your like super fresh, I'm still fresh, but even at the very, very start, you just shoot in with no respect for anything else. You just shoot in hoping, oh, I'm going to get the takedown. And now it's like looking back, you think, man, you're so open to getting caught. So that's when they're starting to learn like throws and stuff like that, became real attractive as well. Just having other angles to work from. Yeah, I just love taking down my opponents.
Yeah, I can see that.